Hello, friends. This is Alia Jamal, the Love Coach, and we are meeting for our May Masterclass, which came a little bit later into the month. And our today's topic is your hidden power as a human. I wanted to dedicate some time to really go deep into who we are as a human being, who we are on this planet. There are other living beings, there are animals, there are plants, there are all kind of things in the ocean, and then there's us. And right now there's also machines and AI and all that. But what is your hidden power as a human? And if you look in the Abrahamic religion, one of the all three religions, there's this one concept talked about that we are the highest creation ever created that we know of. So we want to explore that today. And the reason we want to explore that when you're having, I call it a human moment, when you're having a moment where you feel like your life doesn't make sense to you, why all this is happening to you, why things are so difficult. In those moments, having this awareness is going to be a game changer for you. And that is how I personally navigate all the personal challenges. So that is what today's conversation is about. And I'm trusting you are going to benefit from this masterclass. So what I have done, something new, I have all the bullet points behind us so you can follow along. And one of the things I always say that I do my best to teach from embodiment. And it just so happened in order to prepare for this class and really be prepared and coming from a full embodiment experience for past 24 hours or so, or maybe you can say a little over 24 hours or so, I've been going through a personal experience of my own where a trigger happened and something from the past from like 6, 7 years ago came to the surface. So I am having one of those human moments. So I want to share with you what do I use, what do I do to keep myself centered and keep creating a very intentional but magical life experience, no matter what we navigate through. So before we get into that, I would invite you to just take a look at your life. You might think your life is so challenging. You might think that right now you're going through a very challenging period. You might be going through grief, loss of a loved one, loss of a job. So, or you're just having one of those bad days. Whatever it is that you are going through, the first thing I want you to recognize is there's no such thing as low moments in the universe. We humans say, I'm happy today. I am not happy today. I'm having a low moment. I'm just having one of those moments. And then we try to create space for each other. But when we look at the structure of the universe or the universal laws, there's no such thing as a low moment. There's only progression of life. So here you're feeling low, and maybe after 5 minutes, you're feeling high, and then you're feeling low, you're feeling high. That is just a progression. But when you are in a human body, it is experienced at a high and a low, a high and a low, joy and sadness, happiness and, sadness, or depression or grief or anxiety, whatever is your favorite combination that you experience in this lifetime. But when it comes to the universe, the way it's structured, the laws, and how and the role we are playing as a non-physical being in a physical body, there's no such thing as low moments. So then why do we go through them? First, we want to understand whenever you're going through a low moment, it's good news. A low moment means you're going through that pressure where you're about to expand. So if you're feeling low right now, whether you blame it on the new moon because it's too much energy, I personally go through a very different kind of expansion on every new moon. We are still in the new moon energy, and this happens to be, my moon. I'm a Gemini, so I am definitely going through a lot of expansion right now. When we are going through that expansion, we're about to go through its narrow. I will give you another example. If you look at a hose, a garden hose, if you pinch it, the water would spread out. If you just hold it, it's just going in a specific direction. But if you want to spread it out, what do? You pinch it. When you're going through a low moment, you're just going through that pinch that is happening, so more of your light can come out. So that is one of the hidden power that you have as a human being, realizing there's no such thing as a low moment. So just imagine if you can go through life for the rest of your life, never getting affected by a challenge. Where you can go through a challenge and you know that this challenge does not mean that something is wrong with you or you're bad or and anything you have done in the past was a mistake. Imagine you can go through any life challenge with that kind of inner awareness where when something massive happens in your life or something small that happens in your life, whether it's about you're stubbing your toe or your car is getting in an accident, all of those are good news. And you can actually get excited about it. So I have four things here, but if you just follow this, you're going to connect with that light that is within you, that infinite light that is within you. And as a human, we are this infinite light hidden by our body. And when we shift the way we understand things and when we realize what the truth of the universe is versus the truth that we've been conditioned with, when we can make that distinction, you will have access to your inner power at all times. So you will be able to go through any challenge, but not be derailed by that challenge. This is how I have navigated like massive, massive, massive challenging moments, knowing a low moment is a very good news. That means I'm about to expand. Then the next part we want to work on is how to stay connected with light, or in that low moment, how to connect with light where, that light is that is hidden within you, how to be aware of the water that is coming out of the hose and see that it is going to nurture the garden. It is going to give life to more plants in your garden. How to stay connected with that. While you're going through the challenge, we want to keep our heart open. That is another massive, massive, massive inner power access we have as a human. It's not our mind, it's actually our heart. When our heart is open, our mind is aligned to the heart and the universal mind. That is when your mind is very powerful. So when you're going through a challenging day, a massive challenging situation, staying in a state of, if I am going through this, it must be good for me. What is that? Gratitude. When you realize that a low moment is a good news, and if I am going through this, it must be good for me. And now, let's just be honest as a human. If you're going through, let's say, evacuation, you're being thrown out of your own home. If you are, extremely sick and you've been hospitalized for a long time and you still don't have any answers, if you just got laid off, if you're going through a marriage breakup, if you're going through a general breakup, if there's a struggle when it comes to your kids, it's very hard to feel it's good for me, right? Because what is happening, we are conditioned that your life needs to look perfect, and there is a narrative of perfect that is being told to us since we are born. There's a narrative that gets put out that this is how your life needs to look like. So when our life does not look like according to that conditioned blueprint, we turn against ourselves. We feel bad for ourselves. You're not supposed to get sick. You're not supposed to get laid off. Your marriage is not supposed to break. You're not supposed to have any massive losses of any kind. When that is how your mind is conditioned, what happens? We compare our life blueprint, what we are experiencing, to what we've been told or conditioned, and comparison closes your heart. Me and you, we have our own unique path. My path doesn't look like you, your path doesn't look like mine. So when I compare myself with you or you compare yourself with me, your heart closes. When your heart closes, you cannot connect with the soul's light, that infinite light that is within you. You cannot connect with the hidden power that is within you. That is just how the universe is created. That is the structure of the universe. And then we sit there and we're like, why God is doing this to me? Realizing that God is not doing anything to you or to me, we are doing it to ourselves because we don't know how the universe is structured. What what is the key that unlocks this door, and what is the key that unlocks that door? We don't know that. That's why we get curious and we learn, and that is what I do. That is why I'm on this path. So when you're going through any challenge, any challenging day, do not compare yourself. One, we want to stay connected with that. If I'm going through this, it must be good for me, but stay away from comparison. If we can stay in that state where I can take today just as today, I can take this moment as like, I'm going through this moment. I don't know what the next moment is going to be, but I'm just with this moment that is present. My heart is going to stay open and I will have access to that hidden power, that infinite light that we've been talking about. And in just a little bit, I'll be sharing with you why it's important to stay connected with that hidden power. So far we understand that when we go through a low moment, that is a good news. If I am going through this, it must be good for me. This is exactly the words that I use. This is exactly the dialogue I use for myself to bring myself out of that low moment and bring myself to that place of peace. That might not be like extreme happiness or joy yet, but that could be a state of peace where I can bring myself. And from there, we can create all kind of magic. Another aspect to it is do not compare your life, your day with another person. You might be having a very challenging day, and someone else might be having a very happy day. Do not compare the two. Now, we both know how difficult it is to calm our mind so it does not go into comparison. It is very, very difficult to stop our mind from doing that. But as soon as you go into comparison, whoop, you have closed your heart. You're stuck in that miserable situation and you don't know what to do about it. And that is when we go down to binge eating, binge watching, buying stuff that we don't need, or just having a pity party with ourselves. And then the next day you're like, 2, 3 pounds more than you were the day before. So we want to stay in a place where grateful, connected to the moment, and know that if I'm going through this, it must be good for me. This is my unique path. It's not connected with any other human. For example, when I'm going through my day, I might experience my day in a very different way than my son will, or the way my husband will, because we all have three different lives that we are living. So I'm going to stay focused on mine and mine only. Now, the third aspect of it is how to create magical outcome in the midst of darkness. So let's say you're having a very difficult day and you still want to create something amazing. You are very bummed about that, why did you get laid off? But at the same time, you do want to attract a wonderful soul aligned job opportunities for yourself. For example, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday who was saying that how they are going through a lot of personal challenges, a lot of sickness in the family, and they're not able to really focus on their business. Now, knowing what we are going to discuss now, your life doesn't need to look perfect in order for you to use that hidden human power and create magic. You could be going through the craziest day and still be able to create magical outcomes because what you're going through is not tied to the ability, the hidden ability you already have within you. Sometimes we think if I'm going through all these challenges, that means there must be something wrong with me. And if there's something wrong with me, my life is only going to get worse. That is not true. That is, again, social conditioning. That is not the truth of the universe. So the hidden power that we're talking about is our humans' ability to create their own reality. In any given moment, I can create whatever I want in my physical experience. Now, the more aligned I am with my soul self, the faster I can produce those results. Now, this might be the first time you're hearing it, or you have been working at it for a while, and you're like, okay, if I'm having a bad day, how can I create a magical outcome? The magic exists in your heart. If you can do things where you can keep your heart open, everything you ever desired, everything you ever asked for is right around you, waiting to enter in your physical reality. While you're going through massive challenges or you're in the midst of darkness, if you can keep your heart open, those outcomes becomes your. So let's say you just got laid off. You always wanted to have a work from home job that is flexible or that works with your lifestyle. You have kids, you wanted to work from home. Let's say, that is what you always wanted. And then you just got laid off. Now, that is good news. That means what you wanted is right here, and the universe is just getting you ready to say yes to that. But of course, when we go through that, what happens? We go to worry, we go to anxiety, we go to confusion, we are in fear. All those closes the heart. So in that moment, if you can stay in it, that, oh, if this is happening, that means I'm about to expand even more. If I am going through this, this must be good news for me. I'm about to, um, you know, get deeper into myself and connect with that light. You stay in that even though nothing is moving in your reality. Maybe even your unemployment is coming to an end, but somehow you stay in that frequency that everything is happening for me, right? Your heart is going to stay open very soon. Things will happen in a magical way. And the next thing you know, you have a job working from home where you don't have to sacrifice being a mom and, being a professional. You can work on your career and your family life all at the same time. But before this reality can become you would be required to keep your heart open. Heart is where magical things enter in our life. No judgment, no comparison, no fear, no anxiety, staying in a state of true certainty. Where does the certainty come from? Knowing who you are as a human. You are a being that has the ability to create whatever they want as long as they keep their heart open. If your heart is not open, your mind takes over and your mind is running the show, and your mind is going to make you keep living your paradigm. What is your paradigm? Conditioned belief that sit in your unconscious mind that your unconscious mind believes are true. There is a way to bypass that, is to keep your heart open. When your heart is open, your higher brain gets activated and you align with your soul self. So in this moment, before you even do the deeper work, you can create magic in your life. You can create any outcome you want. And given would be that you keep your heart open. That is the hidden power as a human that is available to you anytime. Now, we want to create a life where you are living above your circumstances, where you are not where you're not dependent on, well, when this happened, then that will happen, when this happened, when that will happen. That is what we are conditioned to think. Whatever you can imagine, You can make it part of your reality. So if you want to imagine going to school full time, working from home, being able to, nurture a baby at the same time, and those are the things you want, you can have that. But you cannot have that from your mind. You can have that from your hidden power as a human being, which is the power to create any shift, any circumstance, any change. And that is done from your heart. When your heart is open, anything can be created. But whenever you're going through a difficult moment, that is a sign you're about to go through a massive shift. That means a higher level of your own soul's energy is available to come into your body. So we all have had that experience. We all have seen other people have experience. Someone would go through such a challenging year. But after that, their life would just blossom like crazy, and you'd be like, oh, wow. And they themselves would say it was so worth going through all those challenges. Me personally, been there, done that many, many times. So as you're going through any challenge, if you can stay connected with that, I do have a hidden power within me, and that is to be able to create my reality. The reason I am going through this challenge because it's good news. The challenge itself shows that you're about to break through. You're right there. It's I'm going to go back to that pinching the hose example that the water is right there. You can pinch it and it will spread out. You're right there. You have already arrived. You have already completed the level of growth that was needed to complete. And now you're going through a challenge. Usually, when we ask more, when we desire more, when our goals are bigger, we are given the craziest challenges. I know that I believe it was 2 years, maybe 3, 4 years at this point. I decided that in this lifetime, I want to expand all the way to the divine spark. Now that is going to be a another rabbit hole we'll get into what divine spark is, but I wanted to expand to the maximum a human can expand in a physical experience. Since that day, I have had one challenge after the other. Every challenge has helped me expand. In the beginning, my mind went to why me, why this is happening. And once I realized that I asked for expansion, and this is exactly how the expansion happened. Now I go through challenges feeling like it's nothing. When the challenge shows up, I just smile and I know it's good news. And I stay in that state of not comparing myself with others. And I am able to keep my heart open and create magical results. That is how, my friend, we live above our circumstances. Your circumstances don't have to dictate your life. Just because you don't have a lot of time right now or you're a busy mom doesn't mean you cannot do something else on the side. If you do have a desire to contribute to humanity with your inner skills, with your inner talent, when you stay in that state of um, gratitude and non-comparison, and just be curious about yourself as the soul, your heart is going to stay wide open, and you'll be surprised how you'll be able to find pockets of time here and there, and you will be able to create whatever you want. So the hidden power that is within us, once again, is ability to create a different reality. If right now you're going through a challenge and you can just remember it's not it's not that government is going to change, it's not that God is finally going to give to you, it's all within you. And when you're going through a challenge, it's good news. When you can live like that, with that level of, I call it soul consciousness or heart consciousness, when you can live like that, you're always connected to your hidden power as a human. Animals don't have that. Animals, they have a pre-program that they are going to go out and they are going to live this timeline. Us human, we have the ability to create a completely different timeline. I personally have done that. Many of my clients have done that. My mentors have done that. There are so many people I know who have done that, and you can do it too. It's the same thing for you. You're just as powerful as the rest of us. It's all hidden within you. And it will start with you realizing if right now you're going through a challenge, that is good news. And if you want to connect with that light that is within you, do not compare yourself and practice more being present with just this moment. And you can create magical outcome. You can have whatever you want, even if you're going through a lot of troubling stuff. It's all about realizing I can focus on it and I can have it, because that is the next step after the challenges you're going through. And then living above your circumstances is asking yourself, what do I want? And just stay laser focused on that. And no matter what happens in your physical life around you, do not let it derail you. Just stay focused on, what do I want? Whatever is happening around you, maybe like, this thing is falling apart, that thing is falling apart, realizing it's all good for you. It's all happening for you. And when you stay laser focused, what do I want? You live above your life circumstances. You get to have whatever you want. You get to live as whoever you want. I'll just share a very quick story. Before I learned the word self-development, it was back in 2016. Before I even learned the word self-development, I had gone through, some therapy experience. I did know, okay, I need to work on it, but work on my inner self. But I did not know yet that I have the ability to create my life. I have the ability to create shifts in my physical reality. I had no idea about that. I decided that I'm going to move out. At that time I was married to my first husband. I'm going to move out and I'm going to move into a different apartment, which is going to be 30 minutes away from where my family was living, where he was living, and my son was only 2 years old. And I am going to find a job in that area and I'll go there and I'll work. I had already decided that. At that time, my massive fear was to be alone. That was the biggest fear I had at that time, is to be alone. But I had made the decision, I'm gonna go away from everyone. I'm gonna get a place. Me and my son will stay there till I can figure out my next step. Now, I was a hot mess. When I say a hot mess, I'm telling you that I think if there were 24 hours in the day and maybe 6 hours I was sleeping, so that leaves me with like 18 hours. Out of those 18 hours, most likely 14 hours I was crying. I'm saying that kind of hot mess. But something within me said that I want this reality. So I applied few places, and one of the places, they took me as part-time, and I told them, "Hey, I need to move out. I need full-time." And they said, "We only have temp position. We don't even have a permanent position." So I said, "I'll take the temp position." Now, temporary position means you can be told any day, "Okay, tomorrow don't come." That is what the temporary position is. But somewhere deep within me, again, um there was so much trust in me, there was so much certainty within me that I said, I can create this reality. I know I'll have this reality. I know they'll hire me. Fast forward, after 2 months, they did hire me. So I ended up creating that reality. But what was happening in the midst of chaos I'm going through, I just got laser focused that I want this. I don't want my circumstances to dictate the life I'm going to have. I want this life that is heart wide open. Within 2 months, I was hired. So that is something, my friend, that is available for you. Yes, over time, we want to do the deeper healing work. As I continue to do, we want to do the deeper healing work. So you're not stumbling every single day. I do have, because that is the path I chose. I want to become the highest version I can become in a human body. So I do meet with, I believe, challenges like every 2 to 3 days. Some days I feel like, every day is a new challenge because that is how I'm able to grow so fast. There's barely any break, but they don't stop me. They don't even pause me anymore. I can just walk through them like it's nothing. It's nothing new. The reason I can do that because I have ingrained in myself at this point, everything is happening for me. Everything is good news. Even if the sky is falling apart, that is even good news. It's happening for me. So do the deeper work so you get to a level where this become your way of living, your way of being. And if you are ready to do that deeper work, you can always reach out to me. You can go to my website, aliyajmalcoaching.com, and you can book a consultation with me and we can take it from there. If you're watching this on social media, you can send me a DM. Yes, we want to do the deeper work where your life challenges don't make you stop and you can just walk through it. But even if you have done no inner deeper work, you can just focus on what you want and stay focused on that. You have so much power within you to live above your circumstances. That is who you are. That's why I like to call people magical beings. When I send my newsletter out, I don't use names. I just use magical being because we all are magical beings. We are here to create anything we want. And it has nothing to do with your gender, your age, your life circumstances. You are just as powerful as anyone else around you. But that hidden power is within you as a human. So we are going to start wrapping it up. Again, no matter what you're going through, it's good news. It's happening. If it's in your life, it must be good for you. When you stay in that state of gratitude and when you keep asking yourself, what do I want? What do I want my next chapter to look like? You can create magic no matter what is happening around you, no matter how you're feeling. You can even bypass your feelings because when your heart is wide open, you're fully plugged into your soul energy. You could be crying all day, but you will get what you want at the end of the day. It's that trust that just makes you purely magical. You can create anything you want because in that moment, you're literally two hands in a Play-Doh. You can shape it any way you want. That is the certainty, that is the trust. And also realizing you can live above your circumstances. What does that mean? Let me just explain it to you. Let's say you're a very busy mom, right? You work outside of the house. Your kids, let's make your kids teenager, right? They throw their tantrum, they talk back to you, and you're just feeling like, oh my God, I am pulled in so many directions. How can I ever focus on something? Those circumstances don't have to control you. You can still life as the wonderful soul that you are, as a magical soul that you are. You can live life like that, even you have so much craziness or chaos going on around you. It all depends on keeping your heart open. It all depends on realizing I can create a different reality. And from that place, you can create kids who are not as talkative, like, talking back with you or acting up. We can create that. We have that ability, but we need to be in the driving seat of us as a human being. So, wrapping it up, we'll be back again with our June masterclass. And I don't have the topic in front of me. But in the meantime, if there's something that you're ready to explore within you, you can always reach out to me. If you're connected on social media, DM me, or you can find me on aliyajamalcoaching.com and you can book a consultation with me. I'm sending you so much love and I'll see you soon. Bye.